Hi everyone, welcome back to Charlotte's Book Nook. Today's video will be my favorite books of 2024 that I think you need to read in 2025. If you're new here, my name is Charlotte. I post clean, Christian-approved book content, and I'm so glad that you stopped by to watch this video. Make sure to comment down below and say hi. This list consists of 8 books that I either read for the first time this year or it was just a reread that I still think you need to read, and I'm really excited to just go ahead and get into this video, and hopefully you guys can get some book recommendations from this video, and make sure to comment down below if you read any of these. Let me know what you think. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So this list isn't in any particular order, but the first book that I thought to mention was Green Glass House by Kate Milford. I read this one during the Christmas season and it was absolutely perfect. It gives off total winter vibes and it was such a fun mystery. Basically, Milo just wants a normal Christmas time with his family for it to be quiet, but then all of these people start showing up to stay in their inn that they own as a family, and this whole mystery unfolds, and then a snowstorm comes and none of them can leave. I just thought it was such a fun premise. It was so well written. I loved all of our characters. These characters are so memorable to me, and I feel like they were some of the best written characters I read about in a while. My only thing about this book that I feel like I should let you guys know is that there is a ghost at the end. It's nothing evil or demonic, it's not a bad ghost, but a character does end up to be a ghost. Other than that, I think this is a must read for anyone of any age in this upcoming year, and it is such a fun read. The next book on this list is The Siren by Kiera Cass. I read this book on the beach and it was perfect. It doesn't really give the most summery vibes, but it definitely is the perfect book to read by the beach, the ocean, anything with water. This is the same author as The Selection. As you guys know, I love that series. This one was not as well written in my opinion. Towards the end, it just went off on this like rabbit trail that I thought was odd, but I liked it. It wasn't the most well-written story with the turns that the plot took, and I felt like it didn't really fit together, but I just couldn't put this book down. Physically, I just kept turning the page. I needed to know what happened. So this is really just an escapism sort of book. It's so unrealistic that you can just read this book without thinking about anything in your own life, which I honestly think everyone needs at some point in 2025. So I would recommend this for escapism, reading by the beach if you like Kiera Cass. This one basically follows Kaylin, I don't really know how you're supposed to say it, and she is a siren, so she has to work for the ocean for 100 years, drowning people basically, and she's on year 80, and she meets this boy, and everything goes downhill with her life. She just wants to be a person again so she can live out this life, and so all of these things start happening, and I feel like you were really able to feel the emotions that all the characters were feeling in this book, and it was clean, so I can recommend this one to you guys without any like trigger warnings. But like I said, it did get a little weird towards the end with just like where it went with the story, but I couldn't put it down, so like I said, escapism for sure. The next book on my list is similar, where I think it's a really good escapism novel, and that is The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. I read this one during the fall, but this is just a cozy boarding school mystery I think you can read at any point in the year. This one is middle grade and it was clean. This one basically followed a girl who went to stay at a boarding school and solved a mystery. It was really fast paced and a very short story, but I did really enjoy the boarding school vibes. It reminded me a lot of Harry Potter but without the magic, and this one I could recommend to probably older kids and teens. Next we have Kisses and Croissants. I read this one during the summer of 24 and I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Love and Gelato, except it was about a ballet dancer in France. This one was a lot of fun and I would have rated it a 5-star, except for the fact that something absolutely crazy happened at the end that just did not fit with the whole chill summery vibe of the book. It wasn't anything that made the book not clean, it just was a really unexpected turn. It didn't end up having a good ending, it just wasn't what I was expecting, and that did kind of derive some points, but I still would recommend this one to teen girls, and it's a perfect one to read during the summer. The next book I'm going to be talking about is The Water Castle. I love this book a lot. You guys know I talk about it whenever I get the chance. It is a middle grade sort of mystery book about this kid and his family who move into this old house called the Water Castle, and there's a bunch of things going on with this. This one does have a lot of historical elements, which I really liked, and you get to follow different POVs from the past and present, but it wasn't one of those like historical fiction books that can be kind of boring. My only thing I have to say is that this did have a lot about the Fountain of Youth and finding the Fountain of Youth in the story, and if that bothers you, if you would consider that magic, I do feel like I need to put that out there, but personally I liked how it was part of the story, and it was just a really great book. I rated this one a 5-star. It was very well written, and I loved how the author wasn't trying to get any like points across like political or religious. It was just a really good book that anyone can enjoy and learn from, and I just had a great feeling when I read this ending of the book, and I was just like, you know what, that was just a really good book that I feel like kids, teens, grown-ups, anyone can enjoy, and I love recommending it to you guys. Of course, it would not be a Charlotte's Book Nook video without me talking about the Penderwick series. I had to change into 2 hands because these are kind of heavy, holding all these books. This is one of my favorite series of all time. It just follows the adventures of this family growing up. There's a book to fit each season. There's 2 books in the summer, one during the school year, one during the spring, and I love the series so much. I love the characters. That's mostly what I love about it. I can relate to each of them in some way that just feels so personal, and I've read the series so many times. I reread all of them last year, and I plan to do the same this year. So if you were to add any of these books to your TBR, it has to be the Penderwicks. I recommend this to anyone of any age. It is just such an amazing book series. Next, if you're a fantasy lover, you need to read The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I love fantasy, but I get intimidated by the giant books and the super long series and all the names and places you need to memorize, but this one was just so fun. The books are a perfect length and it was easy to understand. There wasn't any magic either. It just gave like knights and princes and princesses and castles and all of the perfect fantasy vibes. This one follows 4 boys who are competing to become the fake prince of this kingdom and everything that they go through, but there was a huge plot twist at the end that was perfect. I loved it. I thought it was really cool for the story. Personally, I didn't guess the plot twist, but I know a few people did. But I love this book so much, and I'm literally just looking at the cover. It's so pretty, and I love the whole series, but the first one was definitely the best. The last 2 are kind of like, you don't really need to read them. They're like bonus books, but I would recommend this one. It is a middle grade, but it reads more like a YA, and it can be a bit violent, so I'd probably recommend this to 12, 13 plus. Another one of my favorite books is Bluebird by Siren, and 2024 was the first time that I read this book. It is quite different than the Penderwicks, which kind of just proves that I really have no favorite genre or genre I read the most from. This is a historical fiction romance thriller is kind of how I would describe it. If any of those genres are a genre you would like to read or you like to read already, I would definitely recommend this book. This one I would say for teens because it is historical fiction, so it does deal with some like hard topics. You follow 2 different perspectives that kind of mold into one. There are endless plot twists, and it is such an amazing book. I feel like you need to read this in 2025. I love this book so much, and of course it is clean. Alright guys, that's all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got some new recommendations to add to your 2025 TBR. I'll see you guys in my next video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share to see more content. Bye!